10-4, good buddy. Time for test results. Got batch, I'm calling this batch 29. I sent a bunch of knives to Rolf. Thank God they got to him and got back to me, because that would have been a really bad scene if they would have got lost in the mail. That's too much money. But this is just half the batch. So we're calling this batch 29. Then we'll do batch 30. It'll be really easy. It's just sitting over there. So we'll do that on another video. But this is overwhelming enough. This is 14 knives here. And they're really interesting. And thank you, Rolf, for doing the testing. He's a quality control engineer. He has the Rockwell equipment. He has, of course, the XRF analyzer, or PMI gun as we call it, to do the elemental testing to find out is this knife really M390, yes or no. You know, scan it, get the element readout, we'll know. Okay, so we get that, and we get the hardness. We don't know if the knife was tempered correctly. We don't know how the quench went. We don't know, how the carbides were formed in the austenizing process. So we don't know exactly how the performance per se of any of these given blades would be. But I'll tell you what, if there's a D2 knife that's a 62 and another D2 knife that's a 58, I'm going to think this one will probably have better edge retention because it has better wear resistance, because it's harder. So harder's better than softer. So HRC, or the Rockwell hardness, is meaningful in a certain way. Down below, I will give you links on our spreadsheet. Click knife test results, not cut test results, but knife testing results will give you the printout or the spreadsheet telling you the hardness and if the steel tested as what it was advertised to be by brand. So alphabetically, you can start at the top going Benchmade or Artisan Cutlery, work your way all the way down to ZT or whatever. So go from that to that. These are the batch. So we've got obviously some Harnds knives in here, 3 different Harnds knives. We've got a couple of TwoSun knives, S90V and M390. We've got SRM, which is Sanrenmu. We got some Old Smoke, Old Bear, or something like that. So this is interesting. These are, because Rolf is also a knife enthusiast, so he'll just get some and test them because he's curious. So the Doom blade over here, and then the Camber, Kershaw Camber was his idea, and so was the Rough Rider, and that was a rough ride. So let's get started. We're going to go alphabetically. So we're going to start with Bear, and we're going to beat an old dead horse, because on batch 28 I had the Bear Ops Rancor 2. And of course, hey, 49 bucks, great deal. S30V, awesome. Here's number 1, number 2. I still left that on there. But guess what? We tested both of these. I bought these knives at different months apart from different Bear Ops dealers. And they both agree that they're not S30V. They're not. They're like HCR 13 MOV. So one of our viewers sent me his G10 model. It's certainly a lot lighter, isn't it? Wow, much lighter, but we did test it. What happened? I'll show you. Here's the elemental testing on it. Bear Ops, S30V, and I think that means no. HCR 13 MOV. There we go again. Here's our vanadium content. Should be 3.5% or around there. It's 0.121. Wrong. Okay. So it could be 14% chromium and all that, but no, way off. So this is a stainless. We got that much of it, but no, it's not. It's HCR. Unfortunately, so that is big O, wrong O. And if you want to check, I mean, I do, you know, go to, I really think this A.G. Russell chart is kind of nice to go to. So you can see S30V, 14% chromium, yeah, but where's the vanadium? It should be 4% according to this, not 0.121. Wrong. So, I mean, this is a good reference chart, and you could go to this and kind of look at the elements as I present them and make your best guess when we say no, it's not. Here's the hardness, though. And it's a 58.9. Now, the viewer that sent this knife in says, I'll be damned. I really feel like this is real S30V because when I sharpen it, it feels like hard steel. And I'm thinking it's S30V. And I said, no, it's not. But he goes, if it's not S30V, then it's got to be at least a 58 or higher HRC. And he was right. It's 58.9. So he's correct in that regard. Otherwise, sorry, Charlie. Now, let's go on to the next because we have a bare ops again. This is the bold action. This is an automatic. I got this. Bought this brand new. And I was doing some automatics, and I think I had one or two friends that wanted me to get them some autos. So I then I had to jump in because I got the bug as well. So I got this bare ops bold action knife, which I will do a review on at some point in time. And yeah, I mean, I really like the design and everything. And it's 14C28N, supposedly. Here's the elemental. And here we go. There's your vanadium content. Not very high, but we're talking about 14C28N. And guess what? Yes, it is. It's 14C28N. So this one's real. So bare ops on the Rancor? No. On the bold action? Yes. Yes, it is. And 60.1 on the Rockwell. So that's pretty good for 14C28N, 60.1. So congratulations on that. Next, Civivi Asticus. And I don't know if you have an Asticus, but I've got an Asticus, and I've been kissing a lot so far this month. I've been going nowhere, damn it. So here's my Asticus, and it's D2. Is it really D2? I don't even know why we check anymore, but yes. In fact, his machine does indicate D2. I mean, it's programmed to be able to pick that up. 12% chromium type situation. And vanadium's not horrible. I've seen vanadium as high as 1% or 1.1 even, but 0.121, obviously, I've seen as well. So this is better than some and not quite as strong as others. Here we go, 62.8 on the HRC. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good Asticus. Harnds Wind. 14C28N, or supposedly 14C28N. Really inexpensive and a great looking design. Just love the design on this Harnds Wind. And you probably saw, or maybe not, saw my video posted on this. Harnds is making some good knives, interesting designs, using a lot of 14C28N, some 9CR18, and some D2. So, what do we got from the Wind? Come on, Windy. Yes, it is 14C28N. Here's your printout. What's the HRC? And, you know, they've been pretty consistent, close to 61. This is a 60.3 on this 14C28N. Rolf actually got his own Harnds Wind knife. It was black, and it was a 61 even. This was a 60.3. So they vary a little bit, but that's pretty good Rockwell there. So happy with that. We got the Beak, and That's a really strange looking knife, and I don't know why in God's green earth that I'm attracted to that design, and it ought to be fun to sharpen, I'll tell you that. But I do like it. Go figure. 14C 28N, very optic, isn't it? And it's got, you know, one of them G-lock, axis lock looking things. Yes, it's real 14C 28N. There you can see the chromium, vanadium content, that kind of thing. Yes, it's a real deal. So, what's the HRC? And 60.3, pretty consistent there, huh? Maybe both them blades came out of the same batch, I don't know. But there you go. Next, we got the Blazer, and this Blazer is a monster knife. It is an absolute monstrosity, and I'd really, really like this a lot more if this was tip up carry, but it's tip down only, which is a bummer and a half, although there's a big, huge pouch in here you can put, you know, belt sheath for it. But this is 8CR or 9CR 18 MOV, supposedly. So get this is too weird. It looks like 14C 28N because it's the chromium's too low for a 9CR. So it looks more like a Sandvik steel. Now, why call it 9CR 18 when it's really 14C 28N? I don't know. Where's the HRC on this thing? And it's at a 61. It's at a 61. So really, it's, or I'll just say for all, you know, practical purposes, 60.9, but 61. So it's pretty hard. That'd be a good user steel. Hogue X5. Okay, so this was the continuation into my jonesing for some auto knives. And if you're going to get an auto, why wouldn't you get a, this is like the knife that was made to be automatic. It really was. This EX5, and of course this is A05, and it's A-OK with me, and that's a 4-inch blade, and that's a big old hoss, but it's CPM 154. Swack. That is just Alicious Designs. Just, it's a great knife. What do we got? Is it really CPM 154? Well, it sure looks like it. Yes, it is. So there you go with that. And what's the HRC on it? Well, it's really close to 60, isn't it? 59.9 plus or minus. There's always a little variation you can account for on a Rockwell machine. So can you call it 60? You could if you wanted to. So there you go. And of course, I threw this one at him. CPM 10V. Where did he punch that? Oh, right in there. Okay. So I never did show you the little divot you get when you get a knife tested, and there it is. So CPM 10V. I had to get it. I'm not really crazy about the crap brown scales, but I don't think I'm gonna dye them because I want to keep it original to the 10V sprint run. So whatever. But is it really 10V? Oh yeah, see some vanadium in there, like 10%? Absolutely. How much chromium? Not much. So it's definitely not stainless. 10V? Yes it is. What do you think? Any guesses on the HRC? 55, 61, whatever. Yeah, it's a bunch. It's 65.8. 65.8. There it is on the machine. There's the dial. Oh yeah, we got it way up here. Not down here, all the way up here. So that, I love it. Shit, I love the hell out of it. It's good. TwoSun. Let's talk about TwoSun knives. They are some crazy mamma jamma, aren't they? First, I'm gonna start you off with this one just to warm you up. This is the Wolf Fish. the TS124 by Wong. This is S90V blade, okay? So, are they lying? Is it really HCR13? What is it? Well, let's take a look. S90V, and whew, yeah, it's chromium. I mean, it's definitely a stainless, and there's some vanadium in that dog, isn't there? 10.49%. Oh yeah, that's definitely a super steel. S90V, yes it is, absolutely. Now, what's the hardness? 60. So that's right pegged on 60 HRC. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm not going to complain about that. And of course, this is not last. We've got a few of these extraneous knives around here, but this is the Kingfisher. Check the Kingfisher out. Mazwan Mokhtar design, M390. Looks like we punched it right out here. Is it real M390? Yes, it is. Look at about 4.5% vanadium. Chromium, 20%. Yeah, it's usually right at 20% on chromium for M390. Absolutely. Yes, it is. Yes. What's the HRC on this? Anybody want to guess what the Rockwell is on this? This is good. Well, here's 60, 61, 62, 63, almost to 64 Rockwell. 63.8. That's the hardest M390 I've ever had in my hands. The second hardest M390 knife I've ever had in my hands was a 62, and it was my TwoSun TS68, which was a Wong design, really small knife. And the third hardest M390 I've ever had is my Spyderco Paramilitary 2 in M390, which was like a 61.5. So I've seen a 62.5 on a Paramilitary 2, and they called that a unicorn, that it was that high. So a 63.8, I don't know. Where do you go from unicorn? That's pretty crazy. So I was really shocked. All right, on the knives that Rolf actually sent me that I didn't send him, these are ones that he tested on his own, but he sent them to me so I could put them in my video. This is a Doom blade. Interesting, and he sent me the link on, I think, AliExpress or wherever, where he got his. And it says it's D2. There it is. Well, it's definitely not D2. The chromium's way too high. And no, it's HCR13 MOV, so it's not D2. What's the HRC? 58.1. 58.1 on the Doom blade. So that's the second Doom blade we've checked. They both said D2 and neither one of them were. Next is the Kershaw Camber, and this is S30V. So assisted opening, oh joy. But hey, S30V. Fairly inexpensive knife with super steel. And is it real S30V? And yes, it is. And there you go. There's the vanadium, 4.49, 4.5%. There's your chromium. Yes, it's a stainless. How's the HRC on that? 62. 62 HRC on the Kershaw Camber. Not bad. I mean, if you like assisted opening, you can look past that, and you really like the design, etc. For the money, not a bad little knife, is it? And just for shits and giggles, how about the Old Bear? You can get this at Smoky Mountain, and that's where he got his. The Old Bear Carbon. This is a bit old school here. So what is it? Well, this is for general information only, but there's your, chromium, manganese, iron, all that kind of stuff. Carbon steel, And it is a walloping 54.2. Rough Rider slip joint. Interesting knife, you know, very traditional slip joint knife. So 440 blades on here. And is it real 440? Yes, it is. Definitely stainless, that's for sure. Rough Rider, 440, absolutely. There's your elements. What's your HRC? 60? Yeah, not bad. Pretty impressive, actually, as far as hardness goes. So, Rough Rider, 440, 60 HRC. Not a bad little knife. Very traditional looking. And of course, last now but not least is the SMR. This is a Sanrenmu knife. It's not very expensive. It's the 9015. As you can see, the model here, 9015. And yes, he put a divot right there, didn't he? 12C27 Sandvik steel. And is it real 12C27? And yes, it is. What's the HRC on this? 57.6. 57.6, which is not, that's not an unusual reading for 12C27. All right, that's the end of batch number 29. We'll do batch 30, and there's some surprises in there and some really interesting discoveries as well. We'll keep going doing this. And once again, thank you, Rolf, because he takes his time, his resources, and does this at no cost. And wow, that's just great. And throws in additional knives for our information in case we're interested. And hopefully that continues as well. Gives us a broader range of knives, some different names and models. It's all good. Take care, my friends. Thank you so much. You know what we do around here. We love them knives. You guys, stay sharp.